Yeah, man. So I just really wanted to make that point, about taxes, about taxes and about, white people really, never until now, until they got a black president, have never said anything about any other president. Everyone was always good, when actually, man, this guy ain't got nothing to do with this country. Done been here for 237 years. We done been at it or at war for what, 216, like I said earlier, you know, like 216 years, and you trying to blame 8 years, 8 years of a black man's term on all that shit. Now y'all all so hot at the government, when really, truthfully, everyone here has been robotic and straight up monstrously ignorant. Do you understand? Because just for the simple fact for them to tell you that they buried Bin Laden at sea. You know what I'm saying? The simple fact they would tell you that they buried Osama Bin Laden at sea is complete foolery. And the simple fact that the country did not fucking jump at that shit. Nobody even thought. It showed the true brainlessness of our society. For them to tell us that they buried Bin Laden at sea. Do you understand that is Muslim ritual for you to bury somebody at sea? And this is somebody who claimed to have blown up the World Trade Centers. When ultimately when ultimately we really don't know what the hell he was saying in those videos. He could have been like, "Hey man, look, America, I don't know what the hell going on there." You know what I'm saying? This guy could be saying anything. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But this is the motherfucker that was supposedly, taking blame, and all this shit for blowing up the World Trade Centers, right? So how do we end up burying this man at sea? This is just completely insane that we would believe this shit. Now, and it's so fucking it's so foolish because they whenever they kill some of our troops, they show those people overseas dragging our troops through the streets when they dead and shit like that. Like they showed all these people down on TV. They'll even show our troops getting dragged on the streets by the people we supposed to be beefing with. You know what I'm saying? And they show Saddam's death. These people show they show Gaddafi's death. But you didn't get to see one peep of Osama bin Laden's body. And nobody ever questioned that. So the whole Obama thing, that shit there is just, that's just a damn sideshow. That's just a sideshow for white people to escape, and for them to escape accountability and for them to continue not cleaning out their closet. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole fact that they let that shit slide by. It's the most fucking numb. It's the most. I just. And that's why I just don't fucking have time to talk to nobody. People wonder why, just let me be. Just. It's just let's get into Leviticus. Let's get into this book of Leviticus. That really just sent me on. That really just sent me on the mind wreck. Because even now that just appalls me. That will appall me for the rest of my life. That will appall me for the rest of my life. Truly, that really will. That really, oh man. All right, guys. All right. Leviticus chapter 1. Leviticus chapter 1, verses 5 through 8. How about it? Leviticus chapter 1, verses 5 through 8. He shall kill the bull before the Lord. He shall kill the bull before the Lord, and the priest, Aaron's son, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood all around the altar, and that is by the door of the tabernacle and meeting. And he shall skin the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. The sons of Aaron, the priest, shall put the fire on the altar and lay wood on the fire. Then the priest Aaron's son shall lay the parts, the head and the fat in the order on the wood. That is on the fire upon the altar. Okay. Did y'all? He shall kill the bull before the Lord. He shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood all around the altar. That is by the door of the tabernacle meeting. He shall skin the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. Does this sound anything like something that God would tell somebody to do? This sounds totally cult-like, and people want to talk about a cult. People want to talk about a cult and vampires and things of this nature. What does this sound like to you? Killing a bull, You know, sprinkling the blood around the altar. You know, lay the parts this certain way, lay the head this way, fat this way, you know. And the priest is the one, you know, the priest is the one doing all of this here. You know, the priest is the one directing, you know, and okay. Leviticus chapter 4. Let's turn to no. I'm sorry. Let's stay in chapter 1, Leviticus chapter 1, because we're gonna have a repetition of you know, we're gonna see a constant, you know, this is gonna be a theme in here. This is gonna be a theme in Leviticus actually. So we're still in Leviticus 1, you know, chapter 5, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. Leviticus 1 verse. We already did. We just did verse 5 through 8. I apologize. Leviticus 1. We just did verse 5 through 8. Now we're gonna do 11 through 12. So 11 through 12 is almost like the same thing. On the north side of the altar, he shall kill it on the north side of the altar. You know, before the Lord and the priest. You know, sprinkle blood around the altar and cut it into pieces with its head and its fat, and the priest shall lay them on the wood. You know, do this with its legs. You know, crazy. And 15 through 17. So we're still in Leviticus chapter 1. Just come down 2-3 verses. You know, 15 through 17. The priest shall bring it to the altar, wring off its head. You know, they're talking about. All right, let's back up. And if the burnt sacrifice, let's back up to verse 14. If the burnt sacrifice of his offering to the Lord is of birds, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or young pigeons. The priest shall bring it to the altar, wring off its head, burn it on the altar. Its blood shall be drained out at the side of the altar, and he shall remove its crop with its feathers and cast it beside the altar on the east side into the place for ashes. Then he shall split its wings. Then he shall split it at its wings, but shall not divide it completely. And the priest shall burn it on the altar, on the wood that is on the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the Lord. That was a sweet aroma to the Lord. Whew, man. Woo. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. I don't even gotta read that over. That is ill. The priest does all this. You know what I'm saying? So this is no wonder. Why so many popes are sickos. You know, why so many popes and you know all these pedophile priests. You know, this is no wonder. Now we're getting into the psychology of the BS and why, you know, why and why, you know. So Leviticus chapter 3. Verses 2 through 4. Leviticus chapter 3, verse 2. Oh, here we go. Some more sacrificing and, you know, crucifixing and you know, some straight brutal. And he shall lay his, like I said, Leviticus chapter 3, verses 2 through 4. And he shall lay his head, and he shall lay his head on the head of his offering. I'm so sorry. And he shall lay his hand, it sound like head. And he shall lay his hand on the head of his offering, kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the meeting. And Aaron's son, the priest, shall sprinkle the blood all around the altar. Then he shall offer from the sacrifice. He shall offer from the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire to the Lord. The fat that covers the entrails and all the fat that is on the entrail, the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobe attached to the liver above the kidneys, he shall remove. No, I mean, this is just going too far right here. It's just going too far. Like to tell me that the Most High, that my God told, you know, was the author, you know, of this. It's just wow. It's amazing. It's really. Tell you what to do with the kidneys, you know. Once again, chopping out the head, sprinkling blood, you know. 8 through 10. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the offering. Go down, verses 8 through 10. Go down a few verses, 8 through 10. He shall lay his hand on the head of the offering and kill it before the tabernacle of the meeting. There his son shall sprinkle his blood all around the altar. Then he shall offer from the sacrifice of the peace offering as an offering made by fire to the Lord. His fat and the whole fat tail, which he shall remove close to the backbone, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails. The two kidneys and the fat is on them by the flanks, and the fatty lobe attached to the liver above the kidneys he shall remove once again. Like, you know, Leviticus 4, 3 through 7. Yes. Yeah. Here you go. Once again, more sacrificing. If the anointed priest brings guilt upon the people, then let him offer to the Lord his sin, which he has sinned, the young bull without blemish as a sin offering. He shall bring the bull to the altar of the tabernacle of the meeting before the Lord. Lay his hand on the bull's head and kill the bull before the Lord. Then the anointed priest shall take some of the bull's blood and bring it to the tabernacle of the meeting. The priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle some of the blood 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of sweet incense. And the priest shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of the meeting. And he shall pour the remaining blood of the bull at the base of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the meeting. It's just, I mean, it's really good. It's literally hurt my head to read these things, man, because oh man. But this is why, nobody wants in me reading this to you. You see why you don't hear. You've never heard anyone come from Leviticus. No in no Catholic church, no Baptist church, no church anybody sits in, no time in your house do people break this down. And that's why, you had this vessel of some dude named Prophet Williams breaking it down to you, man. Because it is a headache. It's a headache for me just breaking this thing down to you. 'Cause I cannot believe somebody would do this, Leviticus. This one is my favorite. This one is my favorite. This is the big boom. Leviticus chapter 27. Leviticus chapter 27. All right. Persons and property dedicated to God. And it's entitled Persons and Property Dedicated to God. Leviticus 27. Persons and property dedicated to God. All right. Verses 3 through 8. Let's start at verse 3. If your valuation of a male from 20 years old up to 60 years old, then your valuation shall be of 50 shekels of silver according to the shekel of the sanctuary. If it is a female, then your valuation shall be 30 shekels. And if from 5 years old up to 20 years old, then your valuation for a male shall be 20 shekels, and for a female 10 shekels. And it from a month up to 5 years old, then your valuation for a male shall be 5 shekels of silver, and for a female your valuation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And from 60 years old and above, if it is a male, then your valuation shall be 15 shekels, and for a female 10 shekels. But if he is too poor to pay your valuation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall set a value for him according to the ability of him who valued. The priest shall value him. Do you see this? Just as I was telling you. The Pope and the church being the first to truly industrialize slavery, and to make, to really, concrete and economize this psycho, insane, asylum of warehousing humans, this prequel, to an attempt to put one in eternal damnation, in an effort of what one sees as survival, crazy. Leviticus chapter 27.